Greetings. I am live and 12 people are watching. What a nice and wonderful night. This is CM Kozeman speaking. Hello, everybody. And I hope you're all doing fine. I see that Toxic Tune, Ephesus, and 52 Shark and Jerry Caleb have been here early and have been counting down the seconds. Well, hello everybody. I am back and I hope you're all doing fine. Baby Botfly says, I beg you to stop streaming right before I have to work. You work on Sundays? Well, best of luck. People are sending in flowers. Hello to Lord Grunwald there. Hello to Crazy Nunchucks. Hello to 815N8E. Hello to Lux Aterna. Hello to the Short Sword Whisperer. We got a lot of people tonight. 20 people watching. This was a nice day. Where I am, there was a freak weather, a freak heat wave. And it was like cold, hard winter weather. But suddenly, in a day, it rose to 25 degrees Celsius, which is in American degrees 77. So it rose from literally something like 40 Fahrenheit to 77 Fahrenheit. And literally where I live, people started swimming, and I actually had like a basking session under the sun, and I slept. I took a nap on grass. It was wonderful and energizing. And then I thought about all you people and wanted to host a live stream. Sabisong Crack says 3, okay. Susie San says they have random snow out of nowhere. So it was a pleasant day. I hope you're doing well. Okay, I'm going to get the show started. I'm going to get some coffee done, and we'll go over the agenda. We'll talk about stuff, take questions. Basking like a reptilian, I bet, says Clam James. Almost. I hear that in the UK it has been raining every day now since the new year began, and I guess that must be good for the agriculture, but maybe a little dreary. Anyways, I also did some painting with watercolors. Here's a small watercolor painting I made. You're going to have to look at it and enjoy it while I go grab my coffee. And if you got any big prominent questions about life, hello to Molly Deo, 33 people watching. Anyways, if you got any pressing pertinent questions, let me know. And I will be right back. Call everybody you know in your Discord or in social media or wherever. And we're going to have a fun night together. See you in a bit. I hope you missed me. Here I am. 40 people watching. What a nice community. A lot of you people filter in, trickle in through Instagram, which is cool, I guess. When will the stream start? Says Master Spy. It started now. What type of cake? Do you like cake? Okay. Nice. I love that there's now a great conversation going on between all the people in my channel. And people say, Crazy Nunchuck says it's been raining for a week in Adana, where they live. Master Spy says in Izmir, it's also been raining. So, yeah, people are talking about the rain and the weather, and they're talking about the green-pilled creature, and apparently this thing looks vampiric, which is okay. It's this random doodle I made while working earlier. What is your favorite cake, says 52 Shark? Anything with strawberry or lemon in it. So it's been a nice and eventful week, eventful in a good way. First, we got confirmation that Brazilian friends are going to get all tomorrows in the Brazilian Portuguese language. So that's a big thing to celebrate. I know I got a lot of fans down there. And there's going to be a bit of a pickle because the name of the primary antagonist in All Tomorrows, the coup, well, apparently it sounds like a naughty word in Brazilian Portuguese slang. So we're going to have to change their name, maybe turn it into something like Kuhanim or Kau or something like that. Kau with a K is a good name. Shai Shilim says, aloha. Grunwalder says, I passed my exams. Now I'm going to get horse racing lessons. Good to see. Good to hear that from you. Master Spy asks, have you ever played Doom? I did. It was one of the first computer games I played. I am that old. Other news. I realize I've been leaning into live streaming too much. And the stream before this one, it was kind of running on empty. So I made a promise to myself that I will keep making live streams, but I will also make urban expedition videos and podcast documentary videos too. I know you like them. So that's one thing. And on the other news, well, I'm still... I'm still chugging along. Oh, okay. In the past week, there was a funny for me, Misophonia incident. So let me briefly talk to you about that. Now, everybody in this stream, granted, I stream to 50 people, 40 people, so not really talking about thousands here, But I've been on YouTube for close to 15 years now. And I've been live streaming for a little over 5 years, I think. And on every live stream, I've been eating, drinking, heck, even before live streaming in my videos, the characteristic coffee slurp. This thing has been like a trademark of my channel. Now, I'm not in YouTube for the numbers game. And I have never once heard anyone complain about the sounds of me eating, okay? Last week, I had a live stream with a Turkish YouTuber / kick streamer / internet personality. Lots of hearts coming in. Thank you to whoever's sending them. I love you too. And last year, last week, I had a live stream with my dear online friend, Mert Günhan. He's a cool guy. He's a Turkish internet streamer personality. We've been having streams for a while now, and if you go to my playlists on this channel, you'll find our broadcasts together. You can watch them. They can be subtitled in the English language. Whatever. This weird problem I'm about to tell you is not about Mert Günhan. If he's watching this, my respect. It's about some people in this audience. Clam James says, the eating is like an ASMR aspect. It adds to the streams. Exactly. So in this stream, though, once again, I felt thankful to God Almighty that I do not produce content or write books or do anything in the Turkish language, because despite the great food, despite the steady certainty offered by the local culture, despite the proud history, despite the cats and the lovely cities, a bunch of Misophonia fuckers cropped up in this stream I was having with this Turkish live streamers. And then they were saying like, oh, like reactions ranged from saying things like, oh, it's kind of rude, you know, it was distracting. But some people were like straight on cursing, which is really ridiculous. Now, nothing these people can ever say or even be can make me give a fuck about them, but I just found that uniquely pusillanimous and uniquely meek and disgusting in a special way. Because I don't think in any, like, I stream to people from a number of different countries, okay? Nobody else has this. And I honestly think it was people who were raised poorly and they now have a cargo cult overcompensation on decorum or sounds or mental shit to compensate. And yeah, I got lots of shit. I got lots of flack saying I got misophonia, and it's the funny way they pronounce it, Misophonia. Never knew that was a thing, but I guess it was. So, anyways, next time I stream with my good friend Mert, and I hope it's soon, I'm gonna have a surprise for the Misophonia fuckers. But yeah. Grundwalder says, make a mukbang session just to spite them. I think the best way is just to ignore them and go on. But it was just a very odd thing to get hung up on. Like, it was despite living here for nearly 40 years, it was a parochial cultural hang-up that I never knew existed. Geirti says, you speak English but laugh in Turkish. Better never learn the language I do other things in. What does Misophonia mean? Master Spy says. In psychiatric literature, misophonia, is a fictional, made-up piece of shit disorder. Apparently, it's a condition where you have a decreased tolerance to specific sounds and things you can sense related to them. While it doesn't have an official recognition as a distinct disorder, which means it's bullshit, experts still recognize it. We don't know who these experts are. That sounds stupid, says 52 Shark. Indeed so. In fact, I think a couple of streams ago, I was having a big snack meal, and a Turkish user was here yapping about like how rude and disrespectful and disturbing it was for me to eat. But anyways, it could be a neat idea if you have a Turkish delicacy dinner mukbang. I'd watch. I don't think I'm gonna like lean on to that sound thing or the food thing anytime soon in this stream. Next time I stream with my good friend Mert, I may or may not have a surprise for the Misophonia imbeciles. It's like if I react to them now or do something to spite them now, I will lose the initiative. And I believe, as it is said in the Torah, living well is the best revenge. Anyways, that was that, everybody. I'm not going to speak about this again. Fire King says, what movie or show do you think portrays speculative evolution the best? It doesn't have to be the most scientifically accurate, just your favorite or the one you think is most interesting. Well, there's a lot of movies and shows about that now. I think the best movie these days has to be Avatar. I mean, in the last Avatar movie, Ash and Fire, there were all these, like, they're always great, but they had these, like, alien sea otter creatures, these guys. And the way these things are designed is so cool. They look like sea otters. The face also looks like a sort of worm, like a marine worm with the X-shaped mouth. The limbs, the 6-limb arrangements and the hands, it also highlights that this animal is somehow related to the tulkun, which are the great whales in Avatar. Now I'm going to switch from this image to an image of the tulkun. So you can see how they're related. Now I want you to note the 6 limbs. These guys have the hands, they got the minor limbs, they got the major limbs, which also function like a tail, okay? And now the tulkun has a similar body plan. It has got the tail, but the tail is being forged out of limbs. I really like that. It's got the major fins and the minor fins, and it also has a big whiskers like the sea otter creature. Once again, switching around so you can see. I really like this about Avatar, and I think it's why it's the best Spec Evo intellectual property so far. Lots of hearts coming. Somebody's pushing that heart button. Thank you, whoever you are. So I really like this. I like that it's the same with the vehicles and the weapons and the technology, even like the city that appears in the background. A nice thing about a well-built universe is that you sense that the creator is being real with you and he's taking you seriously, and that's always a nice thing. Fire King says, I have to go. See you guys later. Well, have a good day, Fire King. Thanks for coming in. Shai Shilim says, I remember that Avatar spoiled my mind so hard that my first Spec Evo project was just like Earth animals with some glowing parts. I had the same thing, except that what sloshed my mind was Wayne Barlow's expedition. And I think it's very healthy for your first project to be really inspired by this one thing which motivates you so much. And there's nothing wrong with that. Tiger Blue Thunder says the animals in Avatar are so interesting and majestic. Very well, yes. Data Lore says, do you love sci-fi shows like Star Trek? I must love Star Trek, but to tell you the truth, I never had the time to watch all these episodes. So I have to watch the entire series. I kind of know what the ethos and the universe is about, of course, but I got a lot of catching up to do. I do I don't know if you count that as sci-fi, but I really liked the X-Files. I watched the first 5 seasons and the 2 movies. It was a nice, congruent, and curious show, and every episode was a surprise. Okay, lots of comments. I got more people watching these days, so sorry if I overlook your comment. Master Spy says, is Avatar technology like Tyranid technology from 40K? No. No, no, not at all. I mean, you could argue that maybe Ava is a sort of Tyranid type hive intelligence, but Ava is geared towards harmony and stasis. It wants the world to keep going on. Whereas the Tyranids in Warhammer 40K, they're a biological hive mind, but they're like ruthless eaters. They eat worlds. They're not. They don't care about continuity or stasis. So that was that. When will All Tomorrows be released in Turkish? Says Ephesus. In the beginning of the month of April 2026. The fluke man from the X-Files haunted me as a child, says Baby Boat Fly. Yes. Wait, wait, wait. X-Files had really creative mutants too. Like, you could really sense that I know evolution doesn't happen that way, but they evolved into different things. You had the fluke man who looks like this. And basically, he was a human or just a toxic shit mutant that was born out of chemically polluted waters. So that is that. There was also, oh, you got the black screen. Well, you will see now. It will load. Okay, I guess you can see now. Because Gnome's child says, oh, Jesus. Oh, my gosh. So this was the fluke man. This was like one of the monsters of the week. And X-Files, if you don't know, it's got these two characters, Mulder and Scully. The woman was a skeptic, and Mulder was like the diehard UFO believer. The main plot arc of the movie, the series, is about government cover-up of extraterrestrials and UFO shit, and this government office tasked with investigating the UFO shit. So each season they would have maybe 4 or 5 UFO or alien related like serial episodes. But in between those, you had these cases with the creatures of the week or ghosts or poltergeists or some weird people. I don't know. But I liked it. It was very, every episode was about a certain aspect of conspiracy theories or Fortiana or just like unknown weird stuff in general. And I think it really helped bringing a lot of these modern folkloric elements into the mainstream. Carita says, looks like a baby with harlequin ichthyosis. Indeed, it does. So harlequin ichthyosis is a horrible disease. I don't think I can show you pictures, I don't think I can show you photographs, but it's this condition where the skin turns into ivory colored plaques and basically everything else in between them cracks and turns bloody. And I mean, it looks like this. This is very awful. And I don't want to look too deep into like if they can survive or whatever, but I don't think we want to see that either, says Sabison Crack. It's just a drawing, come on. It's just a drawing. At least my name isn't Nuxanor, and I'm not showing people pornography. You know that shit has been blowing over, huh? Crazy Nunchuck says there's only one surviving Harlequin adult. In rare cases, they can survive. Anyways, look, let's change the subject. This is a bit harsh. But going back to the X-Files, my favorite mutant actually was this character, Toombs. Oops. So there was one episode about a guy who was really stretchy and bendy. Well, I hope you can see this now. What has been blowing over, says 52 Shark? It's like the final boss of unemployment. This internet drama gossip thing. I will tell you about what has been blowing over. So this guy was an X-Files Monster of the Week character. He was really stretchy and he could extend his body into deep cracks. Now, when I was a kid, I always loved this character and I associated myself with it because, like him, I was a very skinny kid and I could stretch my limbs really hard. In fact, I had this condition called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. Fortunately, a variety which wouldn't impact my life too much. But I have this condition where my limbs and cartilage is really skinny. In fact, I can rotate my arms like so. Look at this. What's going on? It is double jointedness. I can dislocate my shoulders. Anyways, because of that, I associated myself with this character from the X-Files. And the nice thing about this guy was that he was not a one-shot beast. He was stretchy, but in the show they explained that he also had a hibernation ability. So he was supposedly immortal, and I don't know, he ate people's pituitary glands or some shit. And every 40 years, he would spin a cocoon. And literally, there was a scene where he was licking bits of newspaper and making it into a slimy cocoon. So every 40 years, this guy would make a cocoon about himself, like a leech or a lungfish, and hibernate. And 40 years later, he would emerge again. And I just like that. It was not a one trick mutant. I mean, he can stretch, and he's a freak, and he's a murderer, but he's a murderer for a reason. He needs this protein that can help him hibernate. And back in those days, especially in like a schlocky sort of TV series, that was some creative creature design, actually. An artist from Athens, Georgia, continued working with a special pad while paralyzed. That's nice, says Jerry Caleb Fau. Gayerty says, I can shake my eyes. You mean you can do this? They call it nystagmus. Some people can do it voluntarily. On others, it's a different story. Another nice thing about the X-Files is the sets. And this gets overlooked. So now I'm gonna download. Sorry. I'm gonna download a bunch of pictures from the TV series. And the set design was really nice, especially Mulder's office and his apartment. You wanted to be there, you wanted to work there. And because this was the age before the internet, you could like really remember these places and live in them. So this was, this was Mulder's apartment. And for that era, it was meant to be like a rundown, loser kind of guy's apartment. But now I think everybody dreams about being able to afford a place like this. That looks cozy, says Toxic Tune. Yes. Toxic Tune, I'm designating you my official image verifier for tonight. So if there's a blank screen, please let me know. And if the image loads, please confirm. Of course, please, unless you're driving or something, of course. Okay, then you got Mulder's office, which was, I think, the real place. And I think in this day and age now, everybody dreams about being able to have a place like this dedicated to their hobbies or area of interest. Toxic Toon says, will do. Grunwalder says, my grandchildren will live in capsule hotels and eat processed insect food pills. And they will think I was rich for having my own room and instant noodles. Well, maybe, who knows? If the world population plateaus, maybe your kids might be better off than you, actually. Jerry Caleb Fav says, it used to be an office, now it's a half cubicle, yes. Lord of Beans says, please respond to my email. I need this. I can only be in so many places at once. If you wrote to me, wait, I read all your emails, but I read every email, but I will write to you. Letoy says, my grandchildren will inherit the stars, I hope. Not very likely for a number of reasons. Even the great autistic optimist Elon Musk said he's revising his plans for Mars now. He's now definitely going for the moon, but Mars may be too far away, he says. Look, it's never going to happen. We can send radio signals or even like devices like the Voyager probe, but humans will always be an Earth-based species. And the sooner we understand this, the better. And the sooner we start taking good care of our planet, the better for all of us. Tiger Blue Thunder says, I'm currently drawing and this is giving me more ideas. Well, I like your comment so much that I pinned it now. This kind of stuff really makes me happy. To be able to inspire people, to be able to even parasocially be there next to them as they create art or fiction and add things to their lives. That's a nice thing. Letoy says, Mr. Kozaman, you are a legend. Thank you. 52 Shark says, do you think we will conquer the solar system? No, not at all. At most, we can have maybe like a moon-based alpha kind of shit on the moon. No. You got to understand, even in the most life-friendly planet like Mars, for example, you don't have atmosphere. You can't breathe. I mean, it would be more likely it would be more beneficial to push an agenda to create cities on the Sahara Desert or the vast desert interior of Australia than fantasizing about going to the planets first. Crazy Nunchuck says, living on the moon Titan may be feasible. Have you got any idea about the distance? I don't think it's likely. I mean, people may go there by spending trillions of dollars. You could maybe land one explorer. But it's better and easier to just send robots. Anyways, if you like this kind of conversation, there are many videos in my channel where I talk about why we will never colonize the solar system and stuff like that. I am not a techno pessimist, but I am a techno realist. Now, on the other news, sorry. So this guy is now in hot water. This character, who will recognize him now? Crazy Nunchuck says, the moon Titan has liquid water. You're still going to need to import nuclear reactors to crack that water into oxygen and hydrogen. What if the nuclear reactor breaks? What if there's a problem? What if the ice machine's pipe freezes and you don't have this little pipe to replace it? What if you bring tree replacement, but the light switch goes dead or the light bulb goes dead? Like, every bit of technology is vital in those scenarios and every bit can break. So yeah. So okay, this character actually made a really good video about all tomorrows, and really popularized it, but he was always a bit of a toxic character. He, in the last year, he did a hard pivot to what I'd like to call Charlie Kirk politics. And now he's talking about Christianity and tradition. And, anyways, now this week, and I am recording on the 15th of February, 2026. This week, this character has been exposed as really being easy with non-adult hentai on his audience, and also overlooking or tolerating like actual abusers and groomers in his community, which is really dark and sad. 52 Shark says, what is hentai? It's better if you don't know. It's better this way. Am I the only one who thinks Nuxanor is an absolute dumbass, says Data Lore? No, you're correct. I'm more like a value-free judgment person about these characters because it's all drama and slop. What was really pitiful that this person is from Jewish descent, and as a fellow Judaic person, I really find it bad that these people, they're not really helping the allegations, are they? Stay pure, shark, says Baby Botfly. I guess you're tooling with me, but I'm not going to talk about hentai or anything. This is like one of the few refugia on the internet where you're free from that shit. Why is it that every person I find annoying eventually gets exposed for something horrible? Well, if you're famous at these levels, if you got 1 million followers on YouTube and stuff, it's very hard not to have skeletons in the closet because you're doing this for life. You probably look, I live stream once every 8 days or 9 days or something, but sometimes I take long breaks for a month or 2 months. If I had to do this for a living, it would burn me out fast. So if you're committed to this life, you live in the streaming world, you attract all these parasocial people, and you're forced to play the numbers game. That's something I never do, as you can see from the 30 people watching my stream or 40 people watching my stream. But I never do that. I never cover the news. I never cover drama. So, but if you're going for these numbers, you have to maximize and you have to be a sensationalist. And in doing so, you acquire a toxic audience. So that is that. Ultimately, what this Nuxanor character will be remembered as will be a parable because he's 30 years old. He's not young either. He's not like some 21-year-old crazy guy who just made some wrong choices. He's a very canny, smart 30-year-old. I think only 40 people here is good, says 52 Shark. Yes, it's good. Yes, it's very good. Okay. Anyways, enough about this guy. To be honest, though, Nuxanor did cover all tomorrows and did give the book some exposure. Man, he was surprisingly nice about it. He wasn't slobbering over my characters, which is, I think, a welcome change. Crazy Nunchucks ask, what are your opinions on Jeffrey Epstein's eugenics obsession? I actually listened to this one interview Epstein gave to Steve Bannon. after his fall from grace. And it looks like he was obsessed with all the weird, outlying, complicated stuff about economics, about health and medicine, about complex systems, he calls them. His interest in these outlying areas may have pushed him into closer association with people who had more money to throw at these great unknowns. And apparently, from his leaks, it's clear to see he was uh, like a blood and genetics racist. He didn't want black women even among his gang of prostitutes. He was talking with this stupid Russian woman who was flattering him, saying that my ex boss was a very smart man. He was 64% Jew. You are 70% Jew, and you are smarter even than him. And she was just flattering him. But then there was all these weird stuff about him buying like multiple DNA test kits. I don't know, I guess he was like rich and like it's like during COVID when COVID was very fresh and rich people wanted to host a gathering at their house, they would buy like 20 COVID tests and people would do the tests and wait for them to turn up. And then when they were all clear, everybody would mingle. The Epstein is the reason why there are so many microtransactions in games, says Master Spy. True, he was talking with some investor about getting people hooked at online transactions at a young age, wasn't he? The Arab sheikhs asked him for the DNA tests. Yeah, like, look, everybody casts this in a sort of this is how all Jews are kind of light, but like a lot of his accomplices were also Middle Eastern Muslims. Weird how that works. There was one email where some rich Arab sheikh says, now I'm going to sample this Russian beauty on my yacht. But here are the principles of Islam and stuff like this. Jerry Caleb says Epstein was Ashkenazi, meaning he was mixed Jewish and European. True. I'm going to share something with you. The results of my DNA test. Are you ready? Yes, everybody. Yours truly is 75% fit to Ashkenaz Jews. Genome doxing. Toxic tune confirms we can see it. Well, that's me, yes. I'll tell you this story sometime later. Abi, is that you, says Ezil Drbz. Aren't you Turkish? I am Turkish, the same way Americans are American. Ne mutlu Türk'üm diyene. This was my family tree DNA test. So my DNA. Look, it was already known among my family that we used to have Jewish ancestors who later converted to Islam. Turkish is a very wide ethnicity, says Master Spy. Turkish is also a nationhood. I am very proud to be Turkish, a Turkish citizen. And we knew that this connection existed, but we didn't know it would be this close. We also didn't guess that it would be a European Ashkenaz DNA. We always assumed we were more closely related to Sephardic. But here is my closeness to modern genetic populations. Jerry Caleb says he's North African. Hail Pharaoh Kösemen. Maybe the people who fled the Pharaoh. Who knows? Jerry Fossilized Fool says I am 1/3 English, 1/3 Scot Irish, 1/3 everything else in Europe. That's a cool mix, man. Baby Botfly says if you're a white American, you're like a European Megazord. Like a Voltron, huh? These genetic tests, they're going to be more common in the future, and they're going to open up broad new areas of bigotry. But anyways, this is my genes, closest to Ashkenaz Jews, Eastern Ashkenaz Jews, Sicilians, Smyrnaeot Greeks, Cretan Greeks, Italians, Cycladic Greeks, Apulians, Maltese, and Western Ashkenaz Jews. 52 Shark says, I'm sadly half Nigerian. What is sad about that? I mean, maybe that's a joke, but come on. If somebody from Nigeria watches this and hears you talking like this, what would you tell to him or her? Hello, everybody, says Cyril Cyborg. 58 people watching. Never hate who you are, says Lord Grunwalder. Very true. Jacob Stisan says, I love genetics. I love them too. But think what would life be like if, imagine during the Holocaust, the Nazis had access to genetic technology. Now there's a non-zero chance something like that can happen again. Not like Nazism getting started again, but people can use DNA tests as a valid basis for citizenship or human rights or classes of human citizenship. So that could be dangerous going forward. Who knows? Ultimately, at the end of the day, you are what you say you are, especially when it comes to nations. It is true that some people like genetically run faster. When it comes to mental stuff, there are propensities and very like faint tints. Like there's no gene for intelligence. There may be genetic factors for memory, mimetic memory, the ability to imitate stuff. But we should always rise above that nature, and that shouldn't be a basis for supremacy before law. There's no point on hating someone else or yourself for an ethnicity. We are all creatures of this earth, says Baby Boatfly. True. Do you think we will be able to genetically modify ourselves, says 52 Shark? Maybe. Already you can select if your kid has, if you can screen embryos for Down syndrome and like other terrible diseases. So selection is modification. Aren't those findings about heritability of social characters very negligible? Some of them are actually, I think, more profound than people let it on. But once again, as humans, we should write about these differences. Slightly harmful asks, do you think billionaires will clone themselves? I mean, what good will that do? It would be like a twin that's born late. And a lot of what makes a person's character, look, I mean, genetically, I think like only things like very basic things like aggression, kin recognition, stuff like this is genetically determined. If you were raised in another home, you could speak another language or have different interests. It could manifest differently. Gnome's Child says, I want to make my sun glow under a black light. I love this so much, I'm going to pin this now. Imagine having a goddamn glowing baby. You could have like a flashlight on him, like, there you are. Based, says Baby Boat Fly. Spartacos says, is the mammoth revival imminent or not? Is there any development about that? Don't place your hopes on it. There's this infamous company, Colossal Biosciences. They essentially make genetically altered pets, but they also publish all of this bullshit research saying they're recreating extinct organisms and shit. And I don't know. I mean, technically, they could gestate a mammoth. They could clone a mammoth from the DNA we have from all the bodies in permafrost, and they could gestate that in an elephant and have like a mammoth baby. But it would be a bit cruel. Like pachyderms are social, smart, empathic creatures, at least as smart as humans. So you'll just be creating a freak of nature. Imagine taping your glow in the dark child to the ceiling and using him as one of those glowing plastic stars, lol. Well, that kid will grow up to be a glow in the dark mass shooter if you abuse him like that. So there is that. Let me check some messages. It would probably be a hairy modern elephant, wouldn't it? Says Gnome's Child. If they managed to insert all the genes from the prehistoric mammoth, it would actually be like a pure mammoth. But once again, it would be a lonely creature. Slightly harmful says if somebody patents the genetically modified kid that glows in the dark, he won't be able to have kids without the company's permission. In that case, I think human rights override corporate and patent rights. So So maybe not. What do you think about prehistoric spiders? Says narrator. You obviously haven't watched my Pan Arachnid Giga Special series. So I have three huge videos about every group of arachnid in the world. And it's one of my masterpieces. I love it. You should check it out sometime. I'm going to get you the screenshots now. And my thoughts about prehistoric spiders are all there. Okay. Here you go. We're genuinely discussing the ethics of glow in the dark babies only on the CM Cosman channel. I love it. Toxic Toon says we can see it. Thank you, my man. Okay, look, the thing with glow in the dark baby, it's a funny meme. But Sonic 2026 Freedom Era says hello. Hello, my friend. Imagine you genetically modified your child and the kid is really different from every other human being, like glows in the dark or has like some weird color morph thing, who knows. I wonder how that kid's relation to you, your parent, his or her parent would be. Because imagine, like, look at all your life and like the moment our parents try to project or make us act out a fantasy that they didn't get to live. This is very common with like longhouse mom types, you know? She wanted to be a ballerina but couldn't. So now she sends you to ballet school or something like this. Now that creates resentment in any human being and it's very normal. Now imagine how you would feel if your parent literally made you in a way he or she loved just for aesthetic reasons, and then you're going to have to live with it the rest of your life. I think you would be pretty angry, huh? Have you seen the new Travis McEnery video? It fits with the theme of the stream, actually. Oh, I've seen it and I love that channel. Let's recommend it to everybody. These are the spiders in your yard. So it's this channel, and I want everyone to go subscribe right now. Travis McEnery. He's a very smart and quirky, eccentric, quirk chungus millennial. And his videos about the spiders are just the best. We see the channel, says Toxic Toon. Thank you. Yes, it was recommended to me by Baby Botfly, and I am subscribed now. You should be too. By the way, you should subscribe to this channel too. Will you genetically modify yourself into a gun? Says 52 Shark. I would make like a coaxial 30 millimeter cannon in my face so I can shoot my enemies. But if I have a big gun there, I need some buttressing in my backbone because the recoil will snap my neck. So if I do that, I will need to have maybe 4 legs so not to fall over. Nah. I don't think you can make the. It's a common sci-fi trope, but I don't think genetic engineering alone can create such distinct changes. I mean, you can more change general things about an organism. You can make them smaller or bigger, or maybe curly hair or strange colored eyes. I'm imagining things like the diversity we see in dogs, but it would be a very analog control, not very granular. Franku says, "Hello, Mr. Kozaman. I watch all your streams. I never chat, didn't even read or watch a video about all tomorrows. Just love your streams. Just want you to know there are followers like me." Franco, thank you so much. And I love this thing so much that I'm going to replace the pin message with that. So there are only these stream only lurkers, huh? That's cool. Jerry Caleb says you have to splice the genes from a species that naturally has the Mega Man arm. Mega Man is this, by the way. By the way, this is the character. He's a robot man with a gun replacing one of his arms. But these new renditions, thank you, Toxic Tune, these new renditions are a bit grim and like shitty. He looks like an amputee. Where is his hand? Says his hand is the gun. Actually, we should look at some proper vintage art of Mega Man because I mean this thing was always a bit creepy, huh? A kid running around with a bazooka in his amputated arm, shooting people. That's not smart. What I love about these games, these games were great, by the way. They were on the original Nintendo Entertainment System. They had you control this guy who is Mega Man. Cheeky face says slightly harmful. Thank you, Toxic Tune, for confirming that we see it. Yeah, so you control this cheeky bugger. He looks like he has face paralysis or Ramsey Hunt syndrome, no? Because the smile is actually very lopsided and looks like there's something wrong with him. Anyways, you control this bugger and you fight a bunch of enemies. The enemies are also like robot, half robot cyborg monsters like you. But they're all like based on elements and stuff. And this is what the gameplay. These were like really nice and really difficult games. And they had all sorts of like robotic monsters. Thank you, Toxic Tune. They had all sorts of robotic monsters, and these games were really hard. So if you bought one of these games, you played it nonstop for, I don't know, a year almost, trying to get to the end. And it was very, very difficult. Now, all the level bosses were also strangely elemental. So, wait, I'm just gonna. got a very nice rainstorm going. Okay, so these enemies were really elemental. So the level bosses were like this. And it went on and on. Dive Man, Ring Man, Dust Man, Skull Man, Pharaoh Man, Bright Man, Toad Man, Drill Man, Dust Man. To this they should add Kozem Man, so maybe something like me is a level boss. Where is Gunman, says 52 Shark. Fundamental element Toad. Hello, legend, says Patan Jai Lemon Squashy Mortal. Hello to you too. Somebody should, if somebody draws me as a Mega Man boss saying Koze Man and be imaginative, I will share it in the next stream, okay? This isn't all. I mean, like in other games, you got other elemental people, such as this one. Bubble Man, Air Man, that's a nice element. Air. Quick Man. Okay, I don't want to know what Quick Man does, okay? That's not even a strength. That's not even a power. It's Quick Man, for the love of God. Wood. Oh my God. Wood Man. Crash Man. This game shouldn't be legal for kids. Woodman, Quickman, Crashman. Wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Do you think Woodman, Quickman, and Seaman are friends? I think Seaman has been cut out from the final one. Where is the grown ass man? I don't know. Flashman, Metal Man, Heat Man. Oh my God, I love this so much. Let's look at more Mega Man bosses. Oh my God, there's a huge post about all the bosses. Oh my, this is wonderful. The resolution is a bit. Okay, we're gonna have like a big vote in now, all right? Which one is your favorite Mega Man boss? Because this one is a wonderful thing. Kertenkele Sky. Flashman is not allowed 10 kilometers within school zones. You see all the bosses? Can you read the text? This is awful. Okay, we're gonna go methodically here. And after we look Pump Man. Were the game designers aware of what they were doing? They must be. Okay, we're gonna look at them one by one. Mental breakdown, man. Yeah, true. So here we go. We got Cut Man. He likes cutting, maybe. We got Guts Man, Ice Man, Bomb Man, Fireman, Elec Man, Time Man. Then we got Oil Man, who looks like a refugee from a Sonic game. Man. Then we got Metal Man, Air Man, Bubble Man. We got the usual list of offenders: Quick Man, Crash Man, Flash Man. We got Heat Man, who looks like he's been hotboxing in a car. We got our good Epstein Island suspect Woodman, Middleman, who's probably pushing heroin and shit. I'm built different, man. Gemini Man was cool, says Jerry Caleb. Oil up. Shut the fuck up. Okay. Needle Man, Magnet Man, Gem. By the way, I'm laughing at this, but like when you play the game, these bosses were extremely hard. There were no laughing matter. We got a winner. Oh, Gemini Man, Hard Man, Top Man. Okay, look, this is the face of a top. No doubt about it. Look at this bastard. Top Man. I think they knew, man. Do they work together? Maybe. There must be a power bottom man too, huh? Oh my god. Such silly names. Very true, Tiger Blue Thunder. Very, very true. Okay, we're going on with the list of man. Weren't there any female robots? These are all, anyways. We got Snake Man, Spark Man. I remember this from Mega Man 4. It was fucking difficult. Shadow Man. These are Mega Man 4 bosses now. Bright Man, Toad Man, Drill Man, Pharaoh Man. Pharaoh being an essential element, of course. Sneaky look. Crazy Nunchuck says top means gay in Turkish. Yeah, top also means an active male homosexual in English too. Ring Man, Dust Man, Dive Man, Skull Man. I also love how some of them seem to be elemental, like Air Man, Metal Man, Wave Man, whatever. But some are very niche, like Skull Man or Pharaoh Man or Gravity Man. Here, we got an essential force now. Gravity Man, Wave Man, Stone Man, Star Man. Oh my god. That's a Dave Bowie song. There's a star man waiting in the sky. He'd like to come and meet us, but he thinks he'd blow our minds. Nah, nah, nah. Then you got Charge Man. He looks pissed. Look at this Charge Man. Then you got Napalm Man. Okay. Then you got Crystal Man. Then you got Blizzard Man. Santor Man. Then you got Flame Man, who looks like an offensive Middle Eastern caricature. Then you got Night Man, Plant Man, Tomahawk Man. Okay, this must be the racist game now from here on. Flame, Night, Plant, Tomahawk, Wind Man, Yamato Man. Freeze Man, Junk, Burst. Fucking Burst, man. They start selecting random objects after realizing there aren't many elements left. I mean, they could go into the rare earth metals. Yamato, man. Yeah. This is such a case of I know what you are. The designers of the game were obviously Japanese. So every other nation elemental man is Weirdly derogatory. Flame Man, Tomahawk Man, Wind Man. But Yamato Man is Yamato. I know what you are. Anyways, oh my god, there's no end to these men. Where were we? Einsteinium Man, Vanadium Man, Snowman. L- Yamato Man literally means man from Japan, I guess. Okay. Turbo Man, Cloud Man, Spring Man, Slash Man, Tengu Man. Tengu is a Japanese mythical character. Astro Man, Sword Man, Clown Man. He's got his fucking clown game on. Search, Search Man, Frost Man, Grenade Man, Aqua Man. Okay, Concrete. Oh, we got one woman. This is a world record. We got one woman, Splash Woman. Yeah, next to him, I haven't even gotten there, but next to him we got Plug Man. What's the next? Jew Man. Oh, it's Jewel Man. Smurf Village says, very true. I'm looking at it like this. It's Jew. Oh, this would be me, no? Hornet Man, Magma Man, Galaxy Man, Solar Man. Close enough. This is also very. The Solar Julius Evola Man. The Solar Masculine, as they like to say these days. Nitro Man, Strike Man, Sheep Man, Chill Man, Commando Man. Fucking Pump Man. I almost read that as Maga Man. I'm sure there's one. Shoe Man, Nitro Huffing Man, Nuclear Reactor. Okay, so look, out of all these incredibly named characters, which one do you identify as? Let me know. Which Mega Man character are you? Which Mega Man character are you? Which Mega Man character are you? Please let me know in the comments. And yes, stare at my nice coffee cup with the birds. I'm going to get something to drink, get a bio break. Let me know which man are you, okay? I personally am torn between Jewel Man or I Quick Man or Jewel Man. I don't know that. Though that would be me. Also, like I'm repeating my offer. Please draw me as a Mega Man character. I'll share it on my next stream. I'll share it on Twitter. I'll share it everywhere. Don't ask what Yamato Man was doing between 1939 and 1945. They were extremely cruel, weren't they? It's no laughing matter. Like they were really, really cruel to such a degree that, like, in Indonesia, Philippines, and other places, they were welcomed as liberators from imperialism. And like, yeah, I never have a respect for anybody who thinks the Japanese were like kind of good in the Second World War. Oh, they really had it coming for them. Sorry. Shai Shilim says, okay, I'm gonna like let me know which man are you. Okay, I'll be right back. KTC says, could anyone in chat acknowledge me? I see you. I acknowledge you. Okay. Everybody's listing their Mega Man personas. Grunwald, there is Centaur Man. Toxic Toon wants to be Pump Man. Okay. Slightly Harmful says Tomorrow's Man. That is very classy. Thank you. My friend will draw you as a Mega Mind Man. Okay. Okay. Thank you, 52 Shark. 52 Shark says All Man. Tiger Blue Thunder says I want to be Sheep Man. Ba ba. Okay. Dan McAleer says, have you read about the massacre and the rape of Nanking under Japanese occupation? I know. I also know about their human experiments. They even had this case where they just like for no reason killed a bunch of German civilians, a bunch being like a few hundred German civilians in one of the colonial outposts they occupied. Anyways, it is very dark, but it feels weird to be talking about them when we're laughing at Mega Man characters now. So, yeah. Yamato Man had an unfortunate meeting with Starman in 1945. Yes, two encounters actually. Crazy Nunchuck says, I want to be Chill Man. Narrator says, I want to be Splash Man. 52 Shark says, I'm Crash Man. Crash me into the wall. Kozaman, what are your two favorite colors? And if you could have a superpower, what could it be? My two favorite colors, one of them is like this tangerine yellow shade that you can see in my website. I really like that. And the other one would be maybe like this shade of red. Who knows? Okay, this is cheating, lol, says Jerry Caleb. I'm surprised there's not a nuclear atomic man. Well, maybe it was the legacy of the atomic bomb. Who knows? Jakob Stitzen says, I am Heat Man. By the way, I was a huge Mega Man fan as a kid. And I actually had like pages and pages of artwork where I drew imaginary Mega Man robot enemies, okay? And I'm looking for one of those pages now. I have them scanned. Okay, here it is. Okay, so this was how much I liked Mega Man. So this was like one of my childhood drawings. I must have been like 5 or 6 years old when I made this. Toxic Toon says we see it. So this was like an enormous picture where I drew my interpretation and new designs for Mega Man enemies. This started out as a level design actually for a platformer, and I drew this bit about like some aquatic level. But then I realized I don't have to make levels because nobody's gonna play this game, and I just like designing the enemies. So the rest of the picture I filled with dozens and maybe hundreds of enemies like this, different varieties. If you played the Mega Man games, you would probably recognize some of the creatures or the enemies here, but others are just purely my creations. There's even like some imported from the Sonic games. Like this caterpillar is a character from it's a character from the Marble Zone in Sonic the Hedgehog. Some of them are my designs, like this flying bird torpedo thing is my design. This little orange thing is based on enemies from the Mega Man series. Like this pink eyeball thing is my design towards the bottom. So like I plagiarized from my favorite games, but also made my own designs too, and it was really fun. All Mega Man, says Jerry Caleb. Yes, it must have been a pattern with me to go for like a total ecology, not just one creature, but all creatures. The birds remind me of Pokemon 2. Nice recreation. I love kid drawings. Thank you. Pure chaos, says Kerem. You got the art style down pretty well. Yeah, thank you. I mean, 5 or 6, so it must be 1989 or 1990, okay? And my friend and I were huge fans of these Mega Man games. And of course, we had like the Nintendo and shit, but we didn't have internet. So in summers, we would spend half the day playing computer games, then the other half just drawing and just relaxing. We didn't have any distractions, so I could focus entirely on art, which was a blessing. That's why I was able to draw like this when I was 5 or 6. And our dream was that one day we will make many drawings like this and mail them to the designers of the Mega Man games or the Sonic games. And we were hoping that they would let us be creature designers or level designers for their future games. That's how naive we were. But it was cool. Children wouldn't be able to focus that much these days, says Cauliflower. True, but there are some very talented digital artists too. Is this an A4 page? How did you fit everything? No, this is A3, like twice the size of an A4 sheet. Kushim says, good evening. Good evening to you too, my friend. Servet Tunca says, hi there. I also had like I had these I had the same thing with dinosaurs and dragons too. And much like the Mega Man game, my aim was to collect every and any dragon or paleo or creature related about and collect them in one huge total universe of strange dinosaur and dragon like creatures. Thank you, Toxic Toon. And and to tell you the truth, I don't think like this thing changed with me. Especially with projects like Snayad, I'm still trying to do this. I mean, there's so many cute things here. Like you look at this creature here, okay? I saw the picture of a tardigrade and I wanted to create an ankylosaur tardigrade for my universe. So I did. And this was that. What a gentleman, says Cauliflower. Thank you. Like for this one, I saw the picture of a cassowary, those hooded birds in New Guinea. But I wanted to turn it into a dinosaur, so there's like a quadrupedal cassowary dinosaur. Tiger Blue Thunder says, these look really cool. I love to draw them as a kid and still do. Thank you. And there's a lion with horns and something that looks like a Pachycephalosaurus with a puffin's beak. There's a red Archaeopteryx. This was like a total weird fantasy universe. There's a small pterosaur that lives like a woodpecker right here. Then there's a giant Dimetrodon elephant with extra legs. There's a rhino that can create fire. All sorts of shit. There's a Tanistropheus dragon and a weird narwhal creature and a plesiosaur with fins and stuff. There's these like gliding frogs. This was the life. So can you imagine like one whole summer I would just work on this painting? Nothing else, just this one sheet of paper. The sail elephant is sick, says Gnome's Child. Thank you. Well, feel free to plagiarize any of the creatures here. I mean, here you got some turtle type creatures. A long turtle with spikes, another long turtle that's poisonous, and something like a pelicosaur with a bird head. Then there's a creature with an extremely long horn. I just love these things so much. I mean, in the honor of the in honor of the in honor of my childhood self, let me make a quick drawing of one of these creatures here. Hmm. Yes, it's live drawing time. Yes, this is like literally like 35 years after I first drew it. I'm bringing this purple pelicosaur creature to life. I think the childhood version of myself would be very proud, huh? There seems to be no nostril on this guy, so I don't know how he breathes. Maybe from this bit. Seems to have horizontal pupils. Okay. Then a very short neck and forelimbs. The forelimbs are a bit wide, strangely. The rear limbs are very short too. There seems to be only one digit on the rear limb. But should I interpret that literally or? Okay, now the weird thing is gonna be all the strange spikes on the head and the rest of the body. They start round and get spiky as we move towards the tail. So these things are like really like spikes. But then on the tail, they suddenly get really hair-like for some reason. And then they stop. Kerem says he still remembers the abilities of the creature he imagined 35 years ago. Because I drew them, I remember. When you draw something, you never forget. Mm. So I'm writing the dates here 1990, probably, to 2026. If you go to my Patreon, I will scan this drawing and colorize it so you can see it there too. But now, Spartacus says, very cool. Well, thank you. I used to draw fish when I was a kid, says KTC. I tend to draw some features again and again, like the sized fins of squid. Well, keep doing that. You're on right track. Uh, gonna work on this a little bit more with you guys, and then I'm gonna call it a night. We haven't been able to do any map adventures any recently, but we've been having fun tonight. This was really fun, especially with the Mega Man shit. Thank you for your time. As you can see, I'm just using a hotel pen. It's just a stupid, not even a pen, sorry, a hotel pencil. You don't need anything extra with these things. In fact, I think art materials are mostly an illusion. And the best art material is time. And you can't buy that. Mm. Kertenkelar says the illusion of free choice for having and not having good supplies just lead to a shitty drawing in my case. Don't be like that on yourself, man. Come on. Karte says, do you prefer köse man or köse man for our art? I don't know what you mean. If you mean the Mega Man thing, you should call me Kose Man. That's Kose hyphen MAN. Tiger Blue Thunder says, this has been so fun to watch. Well, yes. His mouth is like a predatory platypus. True. So nostril is here. Once again, follow me on Patreon and join me for as little as $1 per month. And tomorrow you can see this creature scanned and colored. Here you go. Seems to be very good. Except you see this part. Hmm. 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 Okay. Now there's some smudges. I'm gonna get rid of those. Okay. Hmm. How did you get better at drawing, says 52 Shark? I just kept doing it. As you can see from my childhood art, Brother Man says, oh my God, what's your opinion about semen retention? And do you think it benefits people? Oh God. Look, this is not the person to ask. I think if you satisfy yourself sexually all the time, you get lazy. But it's not because you retain the things in you, it's because you're hooked on dopamine. And what retention, says Shai Shilim? Yes, that's what this person said. Brother Man OP9MJ says, what is your opinion on semen retention? Yeah, I'm not sure if I want to talk that much about this now. I mean, never goon, that's for sure. Porn addiction is real and it's very dangerous. It really is dangerous for your future. Don't watch that shit. I mean, it corrupts your soul, not in a religious sense, but you will never be able to relate to women like human beings. And also, there's a very specific sort of depression that will hurt you if you keep indulging in pornography. "52 Shark" is just you're just playing games with me now. I know. Okay, everybody, this is the drawing done. Although there's some there's too much light here. I need to correct that. Yeah, not bad, huh? Let's stamp it with our name. And let's stamp it with my official seal. Let's also sign it. So here we go. You see, this area is too empty. So what I'm gonna do is Toxic Tom says, turns out amazing, great to watch. Well, thank you. Sorry for the strange question, says Brother Man. The topic seems to be trending, and there's a lot of videos about it on my feed. Well, look. What can I say? I mean, it doesn't have to be even things like masturbation. Generally, it's better to avoid seeking direct and meaningless pleasure and focus on work. It is true, when you're not satisfied sexually, You are more productive because you're more frantic. And as I just told right now, pornography is nobody's friend. But it doesn't mean like if you have one off the wrist or like have a weird wet dream, it's not the end of the world. Everything in moderation. That's true. Do you need quality tools to create better drawings? Says Just Don't. Well, what do you think? This drawing, if you think this is a good drawing or a better drawing, just took me this pencil. This goddamn no brand. What's this? Encore Hotels pencil. The paper is just cheap watercolor paper. So no, you just need a fucking pencil, man. You can draw on a napkin. Brother Man says, you answered my question. Thank you for being approachable. Always. You can ask me any question. I'm not guaranteeing you'll get answers for everything, but we're all human beings here. And tonight was really nice with all the Mega Man shit, and now this drawing coming back from my childhood. It's all thanks to you guys, you know? If I hadn't been talking to you and if the conversation hadn't gone that way, I would have been talking about something else. So, yeah. You will see your Mega Man picture soon, says 52 Shark. Oh, great. Do you have any advice for shading, says Yusuf Arslan? Well, with the pencil, use the side too. Like, as you can see here, hold it sideways and just do like a faint line. With shading, you have to understand that in life, there are no lines, only shades, only fields. Like, for example, it's too dark here and suddenly too light above it, as you can see. So I'm going to change that now. Much better, huh? So here it's too light. Okay. Still needs some work. Very neat. Fossilized Fool says, I finished your Mega Man drawing. Can I email it to you? Yes. My email is c.m.kozeman@gmail.com. So yes, c.m.kozeman@gmail.com. Email it now and I'll show it to everybody. Okay, I got the email. Mega Man drawing by fossilized fool. Okay. Oh, this is a good one. Here it is, everybody. Apparently, I'm something like the coup with a flamethrower attack on my tail. Thank you so much. This was a great night. Well, tomorrow I'm scanning this. Kozeman, okay. Yusuf Aslan says, I'm trying to get into art school. Well, it depends on where you're trying this. Can someone write the email? It's c.m.kosemen, my name basically with dots, at gmail.com. Okay, we'll look at your Mega Man Sona 2. Then it's been 2 hours. I'm going to go to bed. And I'm waiting. I'm waiting for Carita to email me the drawing. The email is c.m.kosemen.gmail.com. Ezer YLRB says, I want to be wiser. What should I do? That's hard. I don't think I am wise. I'm just read a lot of books, but like this one is great. Carita is very talented. Read books, especially memoirs, and feed your curiosity, and also listen to people, because wisdom, you say you want to be wise, that's a whole other ball game. Sometimes you just need to listen and know that you don't need to say anything, just hear people out. And it's harder, it's easier said than done. Okay. Here's a great tip, by the way. Cheap hairspray, very cheap, this is like less than $1, is your best friend. You just spray it on top of pencil artwork. And it works like a fixative. So it makes it shinier and it prevents smudging. Anyways, follow me on Patreon to see what this looks like in color tomorrow. Yeah, so there's that. Okay, now let's show everybody the amazing Mega Man Sona sent in by Carita. I like this one better. I like this so much. Toxic Tune says we can see it. Thank you. It's great to hear this from you. You got like a very nice sense of proportion. You would also make a very good designer because look at the way Carita placed the letters. It is almost centrally aligned, like the empty space around the figure. It is very intuitive. And I think you use a scanner too. That's like very quick and professional. Yeah, but you see, like, it looks crude, but nothing is misaligned. Like, you look at the picture, the first thing you see are the figure's eyes, then the text, then the insect body parts. So, like, I don't know if you studied or if you've gone to college or not, but you could be a really good designer. So you could study graphic design and not waste money on art school and then develop your art skills independently. Selo says, when is the Turkish art copies of All Tomorrow coming out? Early April 2026. Okay, everybody. Kosemen is tired and he's going to go to sleep. Thank you for your friendship tonight. It was a lovely evening. Now, before going, let's do our roll call. Tell me where you're from, and we'll say goodbye. Tell me where you're from. Tell me where you're from. Tell me where you are from. 52 Shark does the Vulcan greeting. Toxic Tune and 52 Shark, good night to you both from. Good night to both of you in Germany. Good night to Spartacus in Turkey. Good night to Carita in Mardin. Good night to Fizbak from Elion in Germany/Albania. Good night to Kertenkelar in Turkey. Good night to Tiger Blue Thunder from Norway. Good night to Jerry Caleb from Georgia. Good night to Selo in Konya. Good night to BKL in Ankara. Good night to EZYL in Eskişehir. We've got a huge Turkish contingent tonight. We got Fossilized Fool from North Carolina. We got Gnome's Child, as always, from upstate New York. Kerem from Sakarya. Good night to MTONNY from. Good night to Yusuf from Sakarya as well. Good night to. I cannot read Cyrillic letters, but have a good night to you too, my friend. Good night to Charlie Kaliop. Good night to Ada Emiru in Istanbul. Got a nice local night. Don't you all have school tomorrow? Come on. This was a nice night. Thank you too. Thank you all. As always, this has been CM Kozeman. One last question, says 52 Shark. ask. Good night to Deki Reba from Esenyurt. That's a neighborhood of Istanbul. Go sleep like a child. What is the age restriction for this channel in your opinion, says 52 Shark? I list all my videos as not made for children. So, it's locked for babies and stuff. I try to be, we discuss a lot of things, but I always try to be very mature and not inconsiderate about things. And I don't like degeneracy or filthy humor. Anyways, if I see smut, I know it. And you should too. Have a lovely night. Good night. I love you all. Bye.